A security guard is on his usual night shift at the morgue when the lights suddenly go out. Moments later, he realizes one of the bodies has mysteriously vanished. The air fills with strange noises, the lights flicker, and panic sets in. Rushing back to his room, he barely has time to breathe before someone strikes him from behind, knocking him unconscious. When he wakes up, the corpse is gone, but who did it belong to, and what horrifying truth is he about to uncover? The film opens to a man, Professor Park, squeezing eye drops into his eyes to fake his sorrow. The moment the mourners leave, his mask drops. He rushes to meet Hye-jin, a young student, and his hidden lover. She's 7 weeks pregnant, and to him, she means everything. For her, he's willing to risk it all. Meanwhile, at the morgue, panic spreads. A corpse has mysteriously vanished. Detectives gather, waiting for their new captain, Woo Jung-sik. He's odd, eccentric even, but his record speaks for itself. He always gets to the truth. The night guard swears he saw a ghost before collapsing, and investigators dismiss him as too harmless to be a thief. Stranger still, the CCTV was down, no doors were forced open. It's as if the body disappeared into thin air. Then comes the revelation: the missing corpse belongs to Seol-hee, Professor Park's wife. A billionaire heiress, and chairwoman of Baron Holdings. To outsiders, their marriage was perfect, the golden couple of Korea. But now, the nation's envy has turned into a chilling mystery. Official reports claim she died of cardiac arrest. Her husband was right there when it happened. No foul play suspected until now. Captain Jung-sik orders his team to inform Professor Park. When the professor hears of Seol-hee's missing body, his face drains of color. Even Hye-jin trembles, as if sensing something darker is at work. Before leaving, Park quietly takes a bottle of headache pills, slips them into his pocket, and drives off. But then, a small detail rattles him. A parking ticket stuck to his windshield. He tears it away nervously. And in that moment, the screen pulls us back to the day of Seol-hee's death. Their marriage was a prison. She controlled him, humiliated him, reminding him at every turn that her wealth kept him chained. That morning, he finally snapped. Quietly, he poured poison into her wine, watching with cold determination as she lifted the glass. When she drank it, he felt relieved for the first time in years, believing his suffering was finally over. Back in the present, Professor Park arrives at the morgue. The detectives explain what happened that night, suggesting someone must have stolen his wife's body. His face twists with irritation. How can a government agency lose a corpse? He snaps. The investigators press him: did Seol-hee have enemies? Anyone who might have wanted revenge? But before he can answer, Captain Jung-sik leans in with a sharper question. What about you, Professor? The room falls silent. Caught off guard, Han stammers, then quickly tries to divert. Perhaps, the culprit came to steal the bodies. But Jung-sik shakes his head. None of the other bags had been touched. The intruder came only for Seol-hee. He then points out a scratch along the morgue floor, a sign the thief jammed the self-locking door open with something heavy. Just then, forensic Dr. Cha arrives, flipping through papers. She asks Park about Seol-hee's medical history. And then Dr. Cha raises an unsettling possibility: catalepsy, a rare condition where the body falls into a death-like state. Maybe Seol-hee was never truly dead. The officers scoff, finding it absurd. Yet Jung-sik seizes on it. So her cause of death, was it truly a heart attack? His suspicion sharpens. If someone removes the evidence on purpose, could this have been murder? And who would gain the most? His eyes settle on Park. After all, with Seol-hee gone, the professor stands to inherit everything. The other detectives hesitate. Park is respected, a professor, a man of knowledge. But Jung-sik remains unconvinced. He presses further. Was there anyone else she was close to? Park answers stiffly, only her sister. Then comes the damning question: where was he when the body vanished? Park claims he was at the pharmacy buying migraine medicine. What he doesn't admit is that he staged this alibi, taking the pill bottle earlier from Hye-jin's drawer. Jung-sik studies him and places the remnants of the parking ticket found on Park's windscreen. Strange. If you were only at the pharmacy, why was there a parking ticket on your car? Were you gone that long? Park's composure cracks. His voice rises. Why am I being treated like a suspect? Feeling the noose tighten, he calls for his lawyer. Later, Dr. Cha steps in, telling Captain Jung-sik he's being too sensitive, too one-sided in his investigation. But Jung-sik doesn't back down. Isn't it strange, he presses, that Professor Park didn't look even a little happy when he heard his wife might still be alive? Cha hesitates, then reminds him of his own scars, how his past trauma, losing someone he loved, might be clouding his judgment. Before Jung-sik can respond, the morgue lights flicker. Then, darkness. Another blackout. In the silence, Professor Park stands frozen. A locker door creaks open on its own. Slowly, he steps closer. Inside the same locker where Seol-hee's body once lay, he finds a small box. With trembling hands, he opens it. Inside rests a bottle. The same poison he used to kill her. Shock floods his face. A flashback seizes him. He once explained this very drug to Hygiene. Rare. Not sold anywhere. He had access to it because he worked in the lab. Odorless, tasteless, it shuts down the body within 8 hours, death follows. Worst of all, it leaves no trace, even under autopsy. The perfect weapon. The perfect crime. The lights buzz back on. Jung-sik immediately notices Park's shaken state, and something else. Seol-hee's phone is missing. His eyes narrow. "Professor, empty your pockets." Park refuses, turning defensive. Jung-sik moves in and forcibly pulls out the bottle. Park straightens, voice cold. "I'm done talking. Speak to my lawyer." But Jung-sik blocks his path. "Not until we know what's inside this bottle." Just then, his phone rings. It's his superior, ordering him to release Park at once. Jung-sik stares at the phone, then ignores the command. His voice cuts through the silence. "Dr. Cha, test the liquid. Now." Jung-sik wastes no time. He and his team begin combing through the morgue's control room, determined to trace how the body vanished. He splits the team, one group to sweep the basement leading to the control systems, another officer to dig into Seol-hee for any disputes about her vast fortune. Meanwhile, 2 detectives trek through the tangled forest path to reach the control room. There, they stumble upon 2 maintenance workers already inspecting the systems. After a thorough check, the truth emerges: someone tampered with the electricity and even rewired the security codes for the morgue doors. Jung-sik's sharp eyes then catch something outside, a roadside CCTV camera mounted nearby. Unlike the morgue system, this one runs separately and wasn't affected by the blackout. At last, a possible lead. Elsewhere, Professor Park slips into the bathroom, making sure every stall is empty. He dials Hygiene, his voice low and tense. He tells her about the missing corpse and how the same bottle of poison mysteriously reappeared in the locker. But both are shaken. They had destroyed everything that could connect them to that night. Then his gaze falls on something unusual, a concert invitation lying on the bathroom ledge. His breath catches. A flashback floods in. The night Hygiene had been injured, he rushed to the hospital to meet her. He missed the concert he was supposed to attend with Seol-hee. Later, Seol-hee's fury exploded. She warned him that nothing in his life should ever come before her, and that he would never escape her grasp. Now, holding the same concert invitation, his hands tremble. Did Seol-hee already know about his secret? Who left this card here? Meanwhile, at the home of Seol-hee's lawyer, her own sister, grief turns to dread when the police suggest her sister may have been murdered. She hands over a crucial document, the prenuptial agreement between Seol-hee and Park. Just as the officer is reading the agreement, her phone buzzes. A message. The sender, Seol-hee's number. "Meet me at the office." Back at the morgue, Jung-sik watches the CCTV footage. Only 4 vehicles entered the restricted area that night: Park's car, his car, the police patrols, and an ambulance. No unknown vehicles. Which means the perpetrator must have come on foot, sneaking through the forested hill. But carrying a corpse uphill? Impossible. His suspicions grow when an officer calls. They've found a set of footprints in the woods. Small. Narrow. Belonging, perhaps, to a woman. Before Jung-sik can react, another call comes through. Seol-hee's sister just received a chilling text from her dead sister's number. Detectives are already en route to her office. Suddenly, the fire alarm shrieks. The sprinkler system erupts, drenching the morgue in chaos. Amid the confusion, Park slips into an empty room. His hands shake as he dials Hygiene. Breathless, he tells her to check the strange spam calls she's been getting. Moments later, she confirms the truth. The number matches Seol-hee's phone. Park's face drains of color. "She's alive," he whispers. His voice hardens as paranoia takes over. He warns Hygiene to lock her doors. He now believes Seol-hee knew about the poisoning in advance, that she injected herself with something to counteract the toxin. And now, she's back, for revenge. But before he can say more, his phone dies in his hand. Across town, Seol-hee's sister arrives at her office with detectives. The room is eerily silent. No sign of her. Only a letter waiting on the floor, addressed in Seol-hee's handwriting. Back at the morgue, the sprinklers are finally silenced. Investigators discover the source of the alarm, a cigarette but tossed carelessly into a trash bin, sparking a fire. Then Dr. Cha returns, holding the bottle found in Park's pocket. "It's poison," she announces. "The kind that shuts down the nervous system, quickly, and without leaving much trace." The room falls into heavy silence. Jung-sik's phone buzzes again, his boss, furious. The order is clear, release Professor Park at once. But Jung-sik refuses. His voice is low, steady. Send backup to my location. I believe Park murdered his wife. On the other end, his boss explodes, scolding him. Enough, Jung-sik. Show some empathy. The man just lost his wife. You, of all people, should understand what grief does to a man. The words sting. Jung-sik's gaze drifts to his phone screensaver, his fiancée's smiling face. His thoughts spiral back to that night. Their love had been perfect. One night, she had been waiting for him, expecting him to drive her home. But he was buried in work and she went back on her own. But she never made it home. A car struck her that evening, leaving Jung-sik with nothing but regret. Meanwhile, Park jolts awake from a nightmare, only to see a shadow shift across the door. His heart pounds. He rushes over, but the door won't budge, it's locked from the outside. Then, a sound slices through the silence. A faint ringing. It's coming from inside one of the body bags. His hands tremble as he unzips it. Inside, a phone vibrates. Seol-hee's name flashes on the screen. With dread, he answers. Seol-hee? But the line is silent. Then, the call ends. A new message arrives instantly. A text. From her number. Meet me at our secret hideout. Shaken, Park dials Hygiene, leaving a voicemail. His voice cracks as he whispers, if anything happens, contact me on this number. Later, the police chief storms into the morgue, accompanied by officers, his face a mask of fury. He scolds Jung-sik, accusing him of creating chaos and putting him in jeopardy. But Jung-sik stands firm, refusing to return to the station. Amid the tension, an officer rushes in from Seol-hee's office, holding crucial documents. The police chief reviews them, his expression slowly changing. Finally, Jung-sik is allowed to continue the investigation. Jung-sik presents the prenup agreement first. It clearly states that if Park cheats, he loses all claim to Seol-hee's fortune. Then comes the bombshell. Seol-hee had hired a private investigator, who recorded proof of Park's affair and even an audio of him plotting to kill his wife. Jung-sik leans in, eyes sharp. This proves you are the killer. Overwhelmed by guilt and fear, Park stumbles into the bathroom, vomiting. But due to Park's father-in-law influence, the police chief slams down a final ultimatum on Jung-sik: you have 1 hour. Get a confession from Park, or find Seol-hee's body, or release him. Then, Park's phone buzzes violently. It's Seol-hee. Images flash across the screen, pictures of him with Hygiene, including one from just hours ago inside her apartment. Panic grips him. He calls Hygiene immediately, warning her, someone's watching you. Stay calm. Get somewhere safe. But it's too late. The perpetrator has already entered. The door locks behind her, and her scream cuts through the night. Park bolts, heart pounding, and in his panic blurts out Hyejin's identity to the detectives. Calm but firm, Jung-sik says he's already dispatched men to her apartment. Now is the time to be honest, he tells Park. Park begins to confess. He met Hygiene while teaching, her lively spirit drew him in. They grew close, meeting every day after class. She filled the emptiness Seol-hee never could. With Seol-hee, it had always been a facade. She controlled, demanded, and kept him like a trophy, never caring about his feelings. Hygiene made him feel alive. He tried to resist, knowing Seol-hee would do anything to reclaim him, but he couldn't deny his heart. And when he discovered Hygiene was pregnant, the choice became clear: he had to be with her, no matter the danger. Jung-sik leans closer. So, that's why you killed Seol-hee? Took her body? Park shakes his head. No. She's alive. She left on her own. He explains the new drug Seol-hee had developed, capable of suppressing lung and heart functions to mimic death. With an accomplice administering the counteracting drug, she walked out herself, leaving the footprints the police discovered. Park screams, so, she's out there plotting everything. Jung-sik stops him mid-sentence. Enough, Park. Stop spinning your lies. He glares, voice sharp. The address you gave us, it's empty. No one has ever lived there. And when we checked the school records, there's no student named Hygiene. Silence falls. What exactly was going on? Park insists, his voice frantic, that Seol-hee orchestrated everything. He pleads to leave and save Hygiene, but Jung-sik doesn't buy it. To him, it's just another story Park is using to buy time. Then, the clock hits the 1 hour mark. The police chief, frustrated, orders Park's release. There's no admissible evidence. The audio recording? Obtained illegally. Useless in court. As soon as he's freed, Park bolts toward their house, with Jung-sik tailing silently. He searches every corner. Seol-hee is nowhere to be found. Then, he heads to the secret hideout on a nearby hill and Jung-sik follows closely. Suddenly, Park slips, narrowly catching himself. Then, a beam of light cuts through the darkness. Jung-sik. He steps forward. "This is the place you buried her, isn't it?" Park shakes his head, desperate. "No. It's Seol-hee, she set all of this up." Jung-sik's expression hardens, and he pulls out a photo of his fiancée, Ji-young. They were supposed to visit their mother's grave together, but he was distracted by work. A flashback shows Ji-young and her sister walking home in darkness, missing the last bus. In the middle of the road, answering Jung-sik's call, Ji-young was struck by a car, her sister flung into the forest. At the hospital, only Ji-young's sister survived, traumatized and unable to recall the incident. Ji-young's body was never found. The police had no leads, and Jung-sik lost contact with her sister, Hwa-young, until one day at the station, she reappears. Hwa-young pulls out a magazine, the Baron Pharmacy logo on the page. Her eyes widen. She remembers the night vividly now, seeing the decal on the car windshield that hit them. A connection she had long forgotten, but what did it mean for everything unfolding now? The truth finally comes to light. On that fateful day, July 20, 2007, Park was behind the wheel of the car that hit Ji-young. Seol-hee, ever calculating, convinced him that no one had seen anything and that they should conceal the accident to protect their reputation. But they hadn't realized, Ji-young wasn't dead yet. She had seen their faces. Panic-stricken, they placed her body in the trunk, burying her deep in the forest. Back in the present, Jung-sik drops the bombshell. He was the one who stole Seol-hee's body, orchestrating every terrifying twist, hoping to uncover the location of Ji-young's grave. Then comes the horrifying revelation: Park had ingested the same poison he had once given to Seol-hee. Even in this state, he begs Jung-sik to spare Hyejin, claiming he alone is responsible for the crimes. But before he can react, Jung-sik pulls out Park's belt, a recorder, secretly placed by Hyejin. The shocking truth hits: Hyejin is Ji-young's sister. Together, Jung-sik and Hyejin executed a meticulous plan of revenge against the couple who had destroyed Ji-young's life. Hyejin was not pregnant. She had deliberately lied to gain Park's trust, stolen the poison, and slipped it into his water, setting the stage for justice. Jung-sik returns to his car, Seol-hee's body in the trunk, ready for the final act. At the forest, he carefully digs up Ji-young's resting place, replacing her with Seol-hee. Hours later, Park awakens, only to find police at the scene. He is handcuffed, charged with Seol-hee's murder, the evidence meticulously staged to ensure his downfall. As for why he didn't die from the poison, injections had suppressed its effects, they couldn't let him die so easily. In the aftermath, Jung-sik meets Hyejin. Together, they finally give Ji-young a proper burial. It's late, but justice has been served, and revenge, long awaited, is complete.